Are modern Viking funeral portrayals authentic? Imagine ships ablaze, sailing into the night sky as part of a grand farewell. That image is everywhere in movies and TV shows, but how true is it to real Viking customs? Well, the truth is quite different from what you see on screen. Modern depictions of Viking funerals, especially the fiery ship send-off, are mostly not based on solid historical facts. Instead, they come from stories, myths, and romantic ideas that grew over time. In reality, Viking ship burials did happen, but they were rare and mostly reserved for chieftains and kings. Archaeologists have found some graves where important people were buried in ships or in large stone settings shaped like ships. These graves often contained valuable items like weapons, jewelry, and tools, showing the person's high status. However, these ship burials were expensive and not something most Vikings could afford. Cremation was actually more common among everyday Vikings. Many were burned on funeral pyres, which means their bodies were set on fire, often with grave goods like weapons or personal items. Cremation was practical and widespread, especially for those who couldn't afford a ship burial. It also fit with their beliefs about the afterlife, where the soul needed to be prepared for its journey. There is evidence that some Vikings sacrificed slaves or servants to accompany the dead, but this was not a regular practice. It was mostly done for high-ranking individuals and involved killing or burning the slaves along with the body. Still, there's no proof that Vikings ever set ships on fire and sent them out to sea as a funeral ritual. That idea mainly comes from Norse myths, like the story of the god Balder, who was sent off in a funeral pyre. Viking funeral customs were quite varied. Some involved elaborate feasts, grave goods, and rituals meant to help the dead in their journey to the afterlife. Over time, as Christianity spread through Scandinavia, many pagan funeral practices faded or blended with Christian rites. This mix of traditions makes it tricky to pin down exactly what a typical Viking funeral looked like. So, the dramatic image of a flaming ship sailing away is more myth than fact. Vikings did honor their dead with ship burials and sometimes sacrifices, but the fiery ship send-off we see in movies is a romanticized version. It's a powerful symbol, but not a common or proven Viking practice.